So let's imagine you're out in Kananaskis with your family, and it's a beautiful, beautiful summer day when all of a sudden you're faced with this. Good afternoon. We are Bear Necessities, and are you really comfortable with having to unclip your bear spray from your belt, or even worse, pull it out of your backpack? I know many of you are probably thinking this isn't going to happen to you, but from 1999 to 2014 in Southern Alberta alone, bear-to-human conflict soared by over 400%.
So our solution is Bear Force One, the first 2-in-1 hiking staff with a bear spray component. Here we have our full prototype, and we've already given out some of the handles to help visualize our product. So how does our product work? Well, first, the user will pull the pin from outside the hole. Then next, click the top at the top to administer the bear spray. We'll incorporate a cylindrical canister inside of the pole. They'll have a volume capacity that will be able to match standard bear spray while maintaining quicker reaction times during a bear encounter. To help validate our product, first we have Paul Haig. He's the senior product buyer for all of Sporting Life, and he believes Bear Force One is a great idea and that it can easily be implemented in all of their stores. Next up, we have Jim Wilson. He's the IP manager at Innovate Calgary. He's an avid hiker and has personally experienced 6 bear encounters, making him our early adopter.
Hiking has become the most popular outdoor activity in Canada, since 44% of Canadians go hiking or backpacking. Also, based on a recent report, revenue in sports and outdoor industry amounts to $1.3 billion USD in 2019, and this number will be expected to grow at a constant rate in the following years, as you can see in the graph.
We will be adopting a business-to-business model for our product, where we will partner with a manufacturer to build a product and then sell it to retail stores. In order to get our product to hikers, we'll adopt a buyer-user model, where our buyers will be the retail stores who will then sell the product to our users, the hikers. We are looking at partnering with outdoor retail stores such as Sporting Life and MEC, as well as Canadian Tire, which is a parent company of Atmosphere and Sport Check. We are currently talking to retail stores in order to build relationships and get our product out there. Additionally, we'll make efforts to build popularity with our users through channels such as social media and a website, as well as encouraging word of mouth.
We have 2 revenue streams today, so we have asset sale and licensing. So asset sale would be our primary source of revenue, as users will be able to purchase our product through our partnered retailers, such as Sporting Life. Licensing revenue is a potential avenue of growth if we allowed other companies to use our patented staff technology. We plan on selling Bear Force One to retailers for $150, with a target annual gross sales of $30,000 in year 1. And now moving on to our cost structure, our year 1 startup costs amount to approximately $97,000. Major costs include research and development and legal fees. Per month, our costs amount to $6,325, of which 95% is expensed towards manufacturing, advertising, and leasing.
Now, for our unfair advantage, not only are we in the process of obtaining a patent for our unique 2-in-1 design, which should be ready for licensing by next year, but we've also managed to reach a tentative wholesaler agreement with the outdoor equipment retailer Sporting Life. This will introduce our product into their Bear Country locations as a starting point for us.
Looking forward, we aim to establish a partnership with Canadian Tire because of their multiple subsidiaries, including Atmosphere, Helly Hansen, and Sport Check. We also want to have our minimum viable product ready for June this year and our products in store by July. And finally, we aim to sell 200 units by the end of this year's hiking season.
We are asking for $100,000 to further the development of our MVP, as well as cover legal costs as we continue to grow our business. Thank you.
Well done. I would buy this. I would be a target candidate for your target market. How much would you think this would sell for?
So we were estimating about. Oh yeah, sorry. We were thinking about $150 selling price from us to the retailers. We based this off of some primary research we did in terms of manufacturing prices. We noticed that the manufacturing prices for high-end hiking poles right now in bulk is about $20 to $25 a pole at the highest end. So we estimated with ours, with the handle and whatnot, and the technology that needs to go into that, we based ours at about $70 manufacturing price, and then we would up that to about $150 to the retailer. We also got that through contacting with Paul Haig, who's the senior product buyer for Sporting Life, and he recommended about a $150 selling price to retailers as well.
And then our retail price is going to be, we're accounting for about a 50% markup, which gives it $225 approximately.
Thank you.
I have two questions. One is a market question. How many people that hike tend to use hiking poles is one question. And then the other question would be, how do you make sure that the product is safe in terms of administering it, that you're not sort of spraying it in your face?
For sure. So regarding your market question, so out of the 50 early adopters that we interviewed, 39 of them said that they would be interested in buying our product. And this is based on, once again, like the moderate to advanced hiker, the middle to upper class, and also those who are willing to pay for increased safety, accessibility, and ease of use. And so following the trends that we have studied and researched, there is an increasing trend in the global poles market. And so this includes all hiking staffs, hiking poles, and trekking staffs. And we see that this market is actually expected to hit 81 million USD by 2023. And following this, there is a growing trend ever since 2007 of hikers being more invested and to really maximize their hiking experience. And so that is where we find our potential customers in the market. Regarding our product, we have looked into liabilities of defective animal deterrents, and we have decided to incorporate the industry standard into our liability framework. And so this is that ultimately the user will be responsible for assuming the risk should there be defects. But in order to mitigate our risk so that we could have as less defects as possible, we are looking towards using inert spray. And so essentially the spray will still have the same spray duration, the same spray range, and the same pressurized air, but it won't contain any of the active compounds in effective bear spray. And so we would use this to help really refine and to finalize the technology and the mechanisms behind our product so that we could go through extensive testing to ensure that the Bear Force 1 is essentially fail-safe.
Additionally,
Great
the
answer.
pin that we mentioned was to also prevent misfiring.
I'm wondering how you're going to defend against competitors once they come into the market.
Yeah, so right now there is no pan for this type of product, either in US or Canada. We're thinking about starting in the Canadian market. And also with our name, Bear Force One, we wanted to kind of trademark that because based off of primary research and interviews we've done, we've kind of gathered that that's a really good name and we can easily stick out compared to other competitors.
What thinking did you guys do around B2C or direct-to-consumer via like an Amazon channel or anything like that?
So talking with some of the companies that we did, like Mac, for example, they were mostly a partnership, sort of. So that would have been a B2C for us, but most of the companies that we were talking with were more so B2B, where we would be selling it like in bulk to them, and then they would be hiking up their prices and selling. So I mean, it was mostly with like the companies that we were talking with, but for them it was mostly a B2B. We've thought about a website as well, but I mean, for our starting point was talking with retailers, and then once we had a market, we were gonna move to e-commerce as well.
So is the cartridge a one-time use, or is it a rechargeable type situation?
Yeah, so we're looking at, our cartridge will be one-time use, but we aim to have replaceable cartridges that will go within it. We want to make the handle screw off, like potential to screw off, and then we'll sell the cartridges individually separately so that the entire pole will not be useless once you use it. We aim to sell the cartridges for below the price of regular bear spray cans, so eventually this can be like quite economic option.